Hello and welcome to the 10th lesson of Non-fictional Prose. Today we are going to do something different. We are not going to study any chapter. We are going to do some exercises. I usually try to have a lesson in the middle or after the middle of the course, just to give some practices, some exercises for the final exam. Because a lot of people always ask me about the final exam, although I repeat the same thing, but they still want to have some examples of the final exam. And I tell them the exam will be similar to the exercises in the book, the multiple choice exercises. However, today we are going to do some of these exercises from the book. We have 4 exercises on pages 52, 73, 88, and 115. So let's start with page 52. We have here a very short little paragraph. We want to read it, and then we are going to answer some questions about it. In the exam, we are going to have questions and passages from the chapters that we studied, but there will be one unseen passage. There will be one passage that that we did not study before. Why? Because I want to check your comprehension, because most of these exercises will be memorized and you are going to answer from your memorization, and this is not the goal of this course. The goal of the course is to check whether you developed the appropriate strategies, whether you developed the strategies that we studied before or not. So I'm going to include just one passage, very short passage, probably 2 paragraphs, a 2-paragraph passage. Don't worry, it's going to be very, very easy. But the reason to include this passage is to check whether you can read by yourself something new and can answer some comprehension questions, or to develop, to see whether you develop the skimming, scanning strategies, the inferencing strategies, and etc. So in the final exam, yes, there will be some passages that we took in the course, which is called seen passages, because we have seen them before, and there will be just one unseen passage, and believe me, it's going to be very easy, inshallah. If you read it very carefully, you will see that it is very easy to answer. So let's read paragraph 1. George Mendel was the first person to make precise observations about the biological mechanism of inheritance. This happened a little over 100 years ago in Austria, yes, where Mendel spent his leisure hours performing experiments with pea plants of different types. He crossed them carefully and took notes about the appearance of various traits or characteristics in succeeding generations. From his observations, Mendel formed a set of rules now known as the Mendelian laws of inheritance, which were found to apply not only to plants but to animals and human beings as well. This was the beginning of the modern science of genetics. So the importance of Gregor Mendel is that he was the first person to, did I say George or Gregor? Yes, it is Gregor Mendel, sorry. So number 1, he was the first person to imagine that there existed a precise mechanism for inheritance, approach the problem of inheritance scientifically, think about why animals and plants inherit certain characteristics, invent the word genetics. Well, let's go to the passage and we'll see that here's the first one to make precise observations. So if you observe, we said before, observe, to look carefully. Precise means exactly. So it's not imaginations. It's not imaginations. It is not thinking. It's not inventing. So the correct answer is B. So you see how I reached the correct answer? I reached it by logic, by using some strategies, by understanding the paragraph, the question, and the alternatives. Then I chose the right one. When did Mendel perform his experiment? We said the last 100 years ago, over 100 years ago. So it is at the beginning of last century, in the 1860s. If we add 100, it becomes 1960. No, here نفس الشيء the 1680s. No, if we add 100 in ancient times, ancient means very, very, very old, to the dinosaurs eras and other eras. So it is at the beginning of the last century, because 100 years means a century. Why did Mendel do this work? We said he did this in his leisure time, in his free time. So the answer is because he enjoyed it. Not because he was in Australia, he wasn't paid for it. He formed a set of rules. This is not a convincing reason, so the answer is B. The Mendelian laws of inheritance describe the transmission of biological traits in plants, human beings, all of the above. All of the above is the correct answer. Paragraph 2, the magnificent warship Wasa, which sank after its first voyage of some 1,500 yards, was salvaged and restored after lying at the bottom of Stockholm's harbor for over 330 years. The ship now rests in the National Maritime Museum of that city. The Wasa sank around the year, we go, it says here where, 330 years, and I think the best answer is C. If we add 330, it becomes 1980, and this book is considered to be very old. It was first published, I think, in the 1980s, so C is the correct answer. Which of the following statements about the Wasa is probably not true? Which is false. It met with a catastrophe shortly after being built. Well, yes, this is true, because just after 1,500 yards, it was it sank. It had that problem and it sank. So it met with a it met with a catastrophe shortly after being built. B, it carried many soldiers and cannons. Did we talk about soldiers here? So this is probably the answer. It was a veteran of many hard-fought battles. It was raised by modern salvaging techniques. Yes. So D is correct. And C is correct. So B is the answer, which is not true. The statement is not true. So B is the correct answer. Here is the answer here. Number 6 is B. Number 7, the Wasa ship appears to be Swedish. Why? Because Stockholm is the capital of Sweden. we have here some exercises that we don't want to do. Let's go to page 73. 73, we have here also some words that we want to guess their meaning. We have the word registered. If you register something, or if you are registered, it means you are officially recorded. So A is the correct answer here. Number 2, we have the word poll. Poll has to do with elections, has to do with giving votes. So, well, I can't find the correct answer here. Survey is the best answer, but a poll is mainly to do some elections and votes to see people's opinions. We have the word trickle, number 3. Trickle is light flow, is the opposite of torrent. Torrent means heavy flow. Trickle means light flow. Torrent, heavy flow. So it is C. Serious, we know the meaning. I am serious to do this. It means I am determined and have the intentions to do it. Serious means strict. Yes, strict is a good answer here. Number 6, fined. If you are fined, we know the meaning of the word fine. I am fine, but it has another meaning. When we say you are fined, means you have to pay for something. You have to pay for a penalty. You have to pay for doing something wrong. So it is a punishment. Yes, so it is D, the answer. Charged money as a penalty. Barriers, if you have a barriers in front of you, it means you have obstacles, you cannot move forward. So it is obstacles, B. This is it for this exercise. Let's go to page 88. Page 88. We have more vocabulary to do. We have a globe-trotting researchers. Means researchers that go all around the globe looking for things. So it is investigators who travel around the world. So the answer is B. We have the word shortfall. Shortfall, absence of something needed. If you have a shortfall in something, it means you need something, but you don't have enough of that. So it is D, absence of something needed. Intake. Intake means the number of things that you take in. So it is a compound noun. Intake, it means take and to take in something. So it is entering into the body. Well, in this sense, in the passage line 74 and 90, it means entering into the body, but intake mainly used to means to take in something. You can check your dictionary. Number 4, middle income. Middle income, it means average salary. It is D. If you have high income, it means rich. Low income, it means poor. Middle incomes means average. Seaweed. Seaweed from the word sea, and you have the words weeds, which is the small things, small plants that are in the ocean. So it's from the word sea. We know it is related to water, oceans, lakes, so plants in the ocean. Last one, we have the word widespread, and I think we studied this word before. Widespread means present in many locations. It is C. One would be tricked of A, large in size. Well, because wide means large in size. So don't be tricked. Widespread means present in many locations. Last exercise on page well, I can't remember the page. Oh, well, let's see. Yes, here. This is page 115. We have the word landmark. Landmark is a place that is visited by a lot of tourists. So we have, for example, in Saudi Arabia, we have a lot of landmarks. We have Mecca is the biggest landmarks. In Riyadh, we have a lot of landmarks. We have these big towers. We have Al Janadriya. We have Al Masmak Palace. We have here in Al Ahsa. Also, we have Jawata Mosque. We have Al Kara Mountain. All of these are called landmarks, places where tourists go to visit. So it is number one, building or other object that serves as a typical marker on the land. We have number two, handmade. Also, this is a compound, handmade. So something is made by your hand. So it is C, made by hand, not by a machine. We have number three, these two frequent words, upload and download. We always hear these two words while using the internet, with the speed of internet. So uploading is moving information up to a server or to a website. Download, moving the information down to your computer. So it is B, to move information up from vehicle to computer or server, and to move information back down from server to vehicle. Number four, craftsmen, people who craft things, people who make crafts with their hands. It is B. So you see, these compound words suggest their meaning. If we separate the two nouns, we can get their meaning from the meaning of these two words. They are different from idioms. Idioms, we cannot separate the meaning of the single word. They are different from metaphors. Compound nouns are easier. We can separate the two words and we can get their meaning. Widespread again here. So this is repeating here. It means extending all over the globe or present in many locations. Any more? Yes, we have here more. Marketplace, place that has market, that you can trade in, sell and buy things. So places where ideas as well as goods are bought and sold. This is a marketplace. We have grassroots. We have the grassroots. So it is based on or rooted in the needs of ordinary people. This is the can also be used to access political information or organize grassroots campaigns. Yes, grassroots means based on or rooted in. So the answer is A. The last one, telecenters. We know the meaning of center and we know the meaning of tele, which is a short of telecommunication. So it is a center for communications with other people. So it is B. C, locations for long distance communication by computer, telephone, telegraph, television. So we see with these words we have some terminologies relating to what? Yes, to internet and computer. So now we are going to a different genre, to a different topic, introduced to some specialized words used with computers and internet. All of these words help to build up our vocabulary, so we have very strong, robust ground when we read later, inshallah, in this course or in this term or in the next terms, inshallah. So you have to have a good basis before you move on to the next courses, and this is one of the strong bases that you want to build your English on. This is it. The questions that are likely to be present in the final exam. In the final exam, we are going to have similar questions to these ones. So if you are trained on these questions, you will know how to answer in the final exam, inshallah. As I said, this is it for today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you, inshallah, in the next lesson, inshallah. Thank you very much.